Welcome back to realvacantland.com. This is Luke Smith. I've got another property for you. Today we're going to Michigan. We've got properties scattered across the country. I grew up in Michigan. I went to school in Michigan. I'm from Michigan. You maybe even tell I still have a Michigan accent. And so I've tried to buy land in Michigan numerous times, and maybe I'm skewed. Maybe my my opinions of the land in Michigan are just off or something. But I just get yelled at. I make these cash offers and I say, here's how much I'm willing to pay for your land. And people get back to me and they say, yeah, right, you're crazy. No way. You've got a California address. Especially no way for you, buddy. And I don't get any land in Michigan. So one of the other people on the website, Patricia Zach, she got some land in Michigan. And I'm like, how? I mean, maybe in the upper peninsula, but on the main peninsula of Michigan, I mean, even close to people. And so I'm still scratching my head. Maybe I just didn't offer enough money. Maybe, I don't know, my presentation was off. I mean, people were saying, how are you buying land from the other side of the country? It's like, I know I've been fishing in that stream that's running by your property. I've spent time in that lake. I've spent time in that beach. One of my best friends from childhood lived down the street right where you're talking. I know that area. I used to ride my bike there. They didn't believe me. I'd explain the details, what I remember of that place. They still didn't believe me, and they wouldn't sell me the land. So it's really hard to buy land in Michigan is my point. And this stuff came up. Really hard to buy at good prices, I should say. If you're willing to pay anything, I mean, people will sell it to you, but at good prices. There's a 94. Kalamazoo is right over here. I went to elementary school in Eaton Rapids, which is like over here. And then here's Eaton Rapids. And then I spent a lot of my childhood in Elk Rapids, which is up here by Traverse City. And so every weekend, summer, whatever, we'd be up here, right on the beach over here, enjoying these lakes and this woods in this area. And I've got families scattered across the area as well. So lots of places, lots of hunting and fishing expeditions and everything else in between. And so this part of Michigan, my mom had a really close friend in St. Joe. We would go to St. Joe at different times, spent some time over here, but not that much. I'm not as familiar with this part of Michigan as other parts of Michigan, but this looks very familiar looking at this land. So let's jump into the satellite pictures and I'll show you what we're talking about. This is like classic deer hunting country. This is farmland. This is green. This is farmland you don't have to water. Growing up in Michigan, you're not accustomed to sprinkler systems and trying to get water to move around because this is some of the wettest part of the country outside of Seattle. I mean, the Lansing over here has, I think it's the second cloudiest city in the country behind Seattle. I might have my statistics wrong, but that's how I remember it as a kid. That's what everyone said. And it's a lake effect coming across Lake Michigan. The air comes across Lake Michigan, it picks up the humidity, and it dumps it over here. So it makes some spectacular farmland because you don't have to water it. It gets watered regularly, and the grass grows like crazy. I used to cut a lot of grass as a kid. And so that makes good horse country. And so I believe some of the neighbors here have horses, and Patricia was showing pictures of horses. And so if we zoom in on this land is in between a couple houses on a country road, and it's got woods in the background, and it's got, it's just got a good looking road that you could drive up to. Let's see if they got street view. They don't have street view. Let's see if we can zoom out a little bit and find some street view. So we could look at the turnoff. Let's see. I don't know if this turnoff's going to work. So this is, what freeway is this? This is I don't know. This is the highway. Okay, now we're over on the highway. So it kind of skips back and forth. But you can see the countryside. This is classic Michigan countryside. Looks a lot like northern Germany or southern Sweden or that part of Europe as well. And the street view doesn't go any further. But so let's go back. Let's look at the northern route into this property. Not that this is the way you take, but for whatever reason, street view is spotty over here. So let's look at it over here. So this looks like the turnoff from the north, and this looks like kinds of areas that I grew up in. Trees and fields, farmers' fields and trees, and generally friendly people, and clipping the grass because you don't have to water it. You just got to keep it clipped. So it'd probably be this road. You go down this road, and it's a good looking road, nice straight country road. I mean, lots of Michigan roads are straight until they get to a waterway. There's waterways all over Michigan, and then the road starts bending and weaving and winding. But from here, it looks like a nice straight road up to the property. Hartford, Michigan. So that would be coming from the north. And so if we zoom in, we can see that there's neighbors. I'm sure there's a power line. I bet you don't have to worry about water. It's probably really shallow water wells here. 7.9 acres in Hartford, Michigan, zoned agricultural. Okay. So Patricia Zach got this one on the website. She's right here over, well, let's use this hand. Her name and her picture and her phone number are on the website. So you can call her and ask her about the property and ask questions, and she'll tell you about it. And it's in Van Buren County, Michigan, 7.9 acres. Everything that she's learned has about this property. She's got some pictures around the area, so it's like some horses and horse property in the area. Different diagrams showing the place. Here's an interactive map with lot lines. We'll show it again right in between these two houses. It looks like the houses on either side are keeping the grass clipped. And then this one just looks like it's gone ragamuffin styles. Whoever's had it forever hasn't done anything with it. But we got the woods in the background, so the kids could go play in the woods, and you could have some sheep or some cows or some horses or some, your dog running around, whatever kinds of animals you want. This is Michigan. You can go for it. People will be happy that you're doing it. It's a farming lifestyle. Looks like they've got kids next door with a trampoline. Yeah, so you can park your whatever. I don't think people are going to complain. You can plant more trees, plant stuff, garden it up. It's really easy to garden in Michigan. You don't have to water it. Living in California now, that's just amazing to think about that. Okay, so we've got property is fenced, zoned agricultural, perfect for horse breeding, etc. One family dwelling is allowed. To buy this property and contract Patricia, and it's got her name and number and stuff. She's asking $28,000 for this property. It's just shy of 8 acres. She's got the APN. It's in Michigan. It's in Van Buren County. She's got the legal description of the property. She's got GPS coordinates to the property on here. So if you're opening this on your phone, you can go to these GPS coordinates, click on that, and it'll give you driving directions to the property. You can drive over there and look at it, make sure it looks right and it's not flooded, or it's not, make sure the neighbors don't come out at you with a shotgun or something. And I'm just joking, but that's the kind of stuff you want to check when you're buying land. Just go check on it. Make sure that's where you want to be. That's what you want. I mean, this is a really cheap, solid piece of land, $28,000 for almost 8 acres. It looks like you can do a mobile home there as well. Annual tax is $328 a year. There's sewer on the neighboring lots, power on the neighboring lots. I'm not sure there's sewer. I'd guess there's probably septic. It's probably septic on the neighboring lots. So if the neighboring lots figure it out, you could probably perk this property too. From what I remember of doing perk as a kid in Michigan, trying to figure out land that my uncle had, I mean, it would be, you dig a hole, and every county is going to be different, but you basically dig a hole that's about the same size as a 5-gallon bucket, and you dump a 5-gallon bucket of water in there and you time it. And different areas had different times. Like if the water is gone within 120 seconds or 60 seconds or whatever the time was, then it perks. If the water is still there after so many seconds, it doesn't perk. You go try a different part of the property until you find somewhere that works, and that's where you put your septic in. So don't just do that. Check with the county, but that's the idea of how to go check septic on your own. Find the best area of doing it without hiring somebody until you really have to hire somebody and show them, okay, here's where it works for me, and do your tests over here and then run with it. So there's the property, and almost 8 acres, Van Buren County, Michigan. $28,000. I'm surprised. I tried so hard to buy land in Michigan, and I just got turned down. I could buy land in most anywhere, but not Michigan, and she got it. So there you go. Go take a look at this one, see if it's the right one for you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you want more videos like this, please hit subscribe. I'll keep telling you about more vacant properties scattered across America. Thanks, guys. Talk to you in the next one. Bye.